Long time no see, guys. We are back again with another Honda Navi build series video. Yes, I am back, or at least I think I'm back. I don't know. It has been a very long time since I've uploaded a video. I just did a video for Kemimoto. I'll link that right here or down below. But yeah, I think for the most part, I think I'm back because there's still many things that we actually have to do to my beloved Honda Navi. Look at her. Exactly how we left off years ago is exactly how she is now. I literally have added only one thing to the Navi, and that is just a carb vent overflow hose coming from the float bowl. And for those of you who have watched my channel for going on years now, you know that I leave nothing alone. I will take a perfectly good bike and ruin it. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about, how when I ruin it, I wouldn't exactly say that I ruin it. I just make it custom. I give it my own little jazz, my own little touch. So we are back again with another electrical mod. We have so much underglow, light panels, a Bluetooth light up speaker, the headlight conversion, the dash panel that lights up red, doing the custom things. There's no more green blinking light anymore. I love electrical upgrades. We will get to the headlight very shortly this summer or maybe early fall. Today, we are doing the taillight. Now let's bring it back for a second. Everybody knows about the classic Honda Navi taillight. You have, once you do the LED conversion, they give you an LED bulb, pull this out, put it in, boom. Everything looks gorgeous. Wow, look at that. Although it does look kind of ugly. We did a long time ago black out the license plate light because we already have one with this. So I didn't necessarily need that. And also, I don't know about you, but it drives me up a freaking wall when you go ahead and press the brake light, and the white light gets brighter as well when you press the brake light. I think it looks kind of stupid and tacky. I personally did not like that. And those of you that watch my videos know that recently we've been getting into a little bit of controversy. But I will say that I've been catching on to some manufacturers that are using, abusing, and bruising some Navi owners. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, may I present to you the Honda Navi taillight. Yeah, this is a scam. So for those of you that know exactly what I'm holding, you're probably nodding in affirmation right now. Reckless Customs sells a bracket, a custom lasered bracket, and a Honda Grom taillight. These specifications between the bolt holes are for a Honda Grom. I used to have their bracket actually. I actually purchased this light so that I could take their laser cut bracket, L bracket, and kind of just bolt it up to the Honda Navi and then put my own trustworthy, non-cheap taillight on there. The problem with this is it doesn't fit like at all. First off, I know Reckless Customs, you guys know that I kind of shit on them a lot in the Halo RGB side panel video, and rightfully so. They're kind of just spewing garbage now, not gonna lie to you. Clearly, this doesn't go in there. Another thing is the Honda Navi taillight is not the same size as that. So even if you were to just take the whole assembly out and kind of just throw this in with their bracket, you're still gonna have two gaping holes. And I've seen it on the forums. And I don't know why they swear by these taillights, these overpriced Amazon $14 taillights that they sell for 50 bucks or whatever. They swear that it's installed improperly. Well, how is it installed improperly? Because there's no way that you can successfully angle this taillight to even be safe. The bracket they give you, first off, fits in the Grom taillight perfectly fine. The problem is when you go ahead and take this taillight and align it up with these two Allen head holes, JIS Allen heads, it doesn't even fit. I wish I had the bracket, but I literally threw it out, I think. It was in these drawers because I have a bunch of fasteners from the Navi when I took the back piece off. Just the fact that they're going to go ahead and market this as an alternative to the Navi is just mind-boggling. People have posted their photos and there's big gaps up top and on the bottom. And then they'll go ahead and comment and be like, hello, beautiful customer. Clearly you've installed it incorrectly. This will not comfortably fit in there. And I've seen people's YouTube videos. This does not work. It also doesn't even fit in there. Like, you have to do a little bit of trimming, and even then there's still a hole, a massive gaping hole there. There's still a massive gaping hole up there. It's quite literally a scam. So you're thinking, well, Pookie, you ordered a taillight thinking it was for the Navi and it didn't fit. What are we gonna do? I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do. Lo and behold, I was an idiot one night, just bored out of my mind. Damn, I really want a custom Navi taillight. I'm in luck. I did some digging and research, and there's this guy, I think he's from Maryland, I don't know. He posted on Reddit about a custom Honda Navi taillight. There is one that you can buy on Amazon, and then the real one you buy on like a real website because you don't want cheap LEDs burning out on you. The one that I spent was like $120, $130. I did originally order a cheaper one just to see if it would fit. And oh boy, does it fit. Before we discuss physically how we're going to go ahead and mount the new taillight, I want you guys to be able to take off this rear fender. I think we've done this in the past, mounting this taillight bracket, but for those of you that don't know, seat needs to come off. There's a keyhole on the left side. There are Phillips heads right up top here. Obviously, if you have a rack, you need to take these 4 12mm bolts out. And then on the bottom side, you do not need to take these ones to your side plastics off. There's just 2 Allens, JIS Allens right here. You do need to lefty-loosey your taillight bulb out, and then the whole thing should just come right off. Currently, the garage is about 96 degrees, so it's a little hot. You can probably see me sweating a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and take this inside, and I'll give you the tea. All right, so once you have your panel like this, there are 4 Allen head bolts that need to be taken off so that this slides up and out. And then once those 4 bolts are off, this should just pull back and kind of wiggle out, and then the whole top piece comes off. There are clips on this top piece. Do not lose those. Now we're into the inner workings of the taillight. So the Reckless Customs would sit right here. The bracket that they have, the bracket, would sit right in these 2 holes, except it doesn't even line up or even come close. We have 2 of these bolts right here holding this on. The reason that there's technically 4 bolts holding this taillight on is because of the vibration with these bikes. So if there was just these 2, this taillight would wiggle back and forth. If it was just these 2, it would go up and down, probably breaking the mold of the plastic. So we're gonna go ahead and take these 4 screws out. We can leave this bracket on the taillight itself. It's all just gonna lift up and come out. I do also have to add that any hardware that you take off, taking the taillight off, you will need it for this install if you do order this light. There is a fluid drain plug here. I'm actually not sure why Honda even put that there. I know Honda loves to think of things like this, but I don't know why that's there. Fun fact, you actually can't order these anywhere, even on Partzilla, Motosport, Rocky Mountain. I've tried looking for them because I actually ordered a whole new cowl due to it being kind of like scratched and banged up. So I did order a new one. It did not come with that plug, so we will be reusing it. I'm pretty sure you can just press it out, and that's it for that. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna set this piece aside. Remember, you do have these 4 clips in there. Please do not lose them. We're just gonna set that to the side because we're gonna be focusing on the rear cowl itself. And then the moment of truth. This is the taillight that we will be putting into the Navi. Not this one in particular. This is an Amazon special. I think it was like $16, but you'll guys notice this is a CBR 650R taillight. I believe this fits 2019 to 2023. The reason I purchased this one is I wanted to go ahead and check fit and finish, and this one actually comes with a license plate light, but obviously we don't need it. The more expensive one, the more high quality one that I ordered, actually doesn't come with a license plate light, so we can actually mount it and orient it upside down. And when you do that, it actually looks a lot more flush than the Reckless Customs Grom one. So that's what we're going to be doing. I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought this one for $16 just to check the fit and finish of it. And I'm actually super happy with it, and it's going to look super good. Unfortunately, there were a couple brackets that I had to make completely custom. There is a size comparison side by side. This is significantly bigger than the Grom taillight, and I think this is going to do exactly what I need it to do. Unfortunately, I did not get to filming this part. I actually did this weeks ago. I ordered the Grom taillight a long time ago, and I was kind of just like putting the project off. Weeks ago, I'm just like, you know what, I should really I've always wanted to put a custom taillight on the Navi, so I'm like, I think I should probably get on doing that. So unfortunately, I did not record this part, making the custom brackets, but I can give you the measurements, and you can find all this stuff at your local hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, literally anywhere. All right, we will start with just these two brackets. So these are steel, I believe. I don't know what type of steel they are. I bought these at my local Home Depot. They come with 4 holes already pre-drilled, kind of concaved as well. We don't necessarily need those holes, although this bottom hole will mount this into these holes, which is nice. So it's gonna sit kind of like this, except this one has the hole right here. So you see that little hole, and it's kind of offset a little bit, like it's not in line with these two, it's over here. The reason I did that was because this light sticks out just a little too far, if you can see. Doesn't exactly line up. So what I did to compensate for that was I took a drill, measured it out, and I spaced these brackets out. So the other one comes over and it comes out as well, and it sits perfectly flush. I will get you the measurements to this immediately. So we have 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. And then as far as where I drilled the center hole, it's about right on it's like in between the 3/4 mark. So it's almost 7/8 on the dot. And then as far as how far I went in about in between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. So somewhere in between there as well. Obviously you don't have to get this perfect, but it does help to get it a little bit more perfect. I suppose I just got lucky as well. And then I obviously bored this out a little bit bigger than that. We're not going to need this hole, but I can run other brackets because the vibration with this bike is just so bad. So with those 2 brackets on, obviously these 2 screws are not going to be able to hold this taillight on, although it does weigh the exact same as the other Navi light. You're going to need a support coming from this screw hole going to the top of this, just to give it a little bit more rigidity as well. And then another important thing is when you go ahead and mount this, it has to float. But if I put this completely flat, you'll see how there's light showing, like if you can see. The tail light doesn't actually contact the fender, which is nice because it does need to float. You will crack or possibly get some scratching going on your tail light, and then it might even squeak as well if it gets bad enough. So I really didn't want that. I wanted a nice fit and finish. Even the other side doesn't as well. It floats. Still a pretty big hole on the bottom, but I did figure out how to cover this as well. So it's going to look pretty darn good. This, you won't be able to see any of this. It'll just look, I have a piece of rubber strapping that can go around this. So trust the process, and I guess we're both gonna see how this turns out. While I had this taillight mounted, I just put 2 regular nuts on there just to kind of clamp it down and hold it. I would take, these are pieces of it's like soft aluminum, not soft enough as to where like you can instantly bend it, but these are manipulated, able to be manipulated, so you can bend them at whatever angle you want. You see I have like blue Sharpie on it, So what I did was pretend this is just a straight piece of metal. I kind of drilled a hole in the metal, put it right there, and then if the metal goes out, all I did was just get above it and look at where it is, and I figured out that that is the exact plane as to where the metal needs to bend in order to meet that hole. This metal does not pair with this. It goes up here. I suppose I could have extended it from this to go down to that, but I actually wanted a different contact point to make sure that this light was fully suspended and it wasn't going to go ahead and break anything. Because as soon as you snap these mounts, you're going to have to order a whole new cowl, and this light's just going to be wiggling around, and it's just not going to be fun to have to redo this. So I'd rather get it right now than have to get it right later. So for those of you wondering what this is exactly going to look like, this is the rough cut fender. This is exactly what it's going to look like. See how it kind of like points down? Like if I were to do it the other way, it would point up, but just having that little bit right there, I think is going to make me able to be seen a little bit better, which is going to be nice because I'm going to be putting M4s or M5 screws through there anyways with bolts and nuts. So that should give us the rigidity that we need pretty good as it is right now. And it kind of matches the stock look. We still retain all the holes kind of, which is going to be super nice. So super excited about that. So before we go any further and I rig this up how it's finally going to look forever, hopefully, I'm going to go ahead and spray paint these black. You guys know I don't like the color silver or chrome. I mean, I like chrome, but it looks good in certain applications. I think this is going to look a little trashy if I keep them looking like this. So I'm going to go ahead and give them like either a matte or a pearlescent black look, and then we'll get this thing rigged up. All right, we have our very jankly sprayed black brackets now. Let's go ahead and find some permanent hardware for this light. So I believe this is everything that we're gonna need as far as hardware goes. We do have 4 lock washers. Unfortunately, I didn't have any nylon nuts, so we're just gonna have to deal with these. These are gonna fit onto that. There's gonna be 2 lock washers behind those. I might even Loctite the threads as well. And then we have these, which might have a couple of these as well that are going to go on the secondary brackets coming from here. They're not matching hardware, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure that's a battery terminal as well, but I did manage to find nuts that would go on those. I think these are M5, and it doesn't matter. As long as I can get them snug and it works, then we'll kind of just roll with it. For anybody that wants to look at this, this is a 2019 and 2023 Honda CBR 650R, CB650. I don't know if that shares the same. I know the CBR 650 shares the same tail light. So if you guys are wanting to go ahead and do this, I ordered this one from, I don't know actually. I will leave it down in the comments section where I got this stuff, or in the description. This is a turn signal diode for a CBR 650. We will not be using this because I do not care about turn signals. Here it is. This is actually a programmable taillight, so I can actually tell it what and what not to do. I know you guys love the triple blink warning light or whatever. This can do that. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like flashing red is A, illegal, and B, it kind of looks trashy in my opinion. I think it's just because people have ruined it. I really did want a clear lens, but I will be going with a smoked lens because I figured out that the smoke is going to look good with the black backing, and it's going to look better than the red. So that's what I went with, and it's not too smoked either. It kind of just looks kind of blued out, which is kind of cool. It's the exact same thread pattern, exact same dimensions, other than the fact that it is programmable. So this will be pretty cool. We will have to absolutely annihilate this wiring sheath. I'm probably going to cut it back to here, and then I'm going to run a couple polarity just to see where the break in the tail light is in the ground. Obviously, I think the ground is black, and then the running light might be white, and the brake light might be red, or vice versa. These two, I believe, are the turn signals, so we will not be using the yellow and the blue wire. They actually gave us so park, brake, 3-wire, And then, okay, so the blue and the yellow are the turn signal, yeah. So we're not going to be using those two wires. And then this connector, which is meant for the CBR 650, I'm just going to go ahead and hack it. And then I'm going to take the connector that's actually on the bike, the 3-pin connector that goes to the bulb that we had in before, and I'm going to cut that and splice the tail light that we have into that. So that's all I'm going to be doing. It's simple wiring. So I'm going to go ahead and snip them a little bit further down, and I can use this wiring for probably a future project maybe. And then I'm just going to go ahead and probably heat shrink these, wrap these, and kind of forget they exist. So, minor problem. The last battery was dead, but we figured out that my suspicions were in fact true. So the green wire on the outside of the bulb is the negative, and that is the brake light. Positive goes there, and it just barely lights up. Okay. So the brown is just the running light. The green is the ground. So this is our ground right here. Green's ground. This is the running light, and the yellow is the brake light. So for this modification, we will be doing this green to the black wire. We will be doing, I believe, the red to the brown. Oh, there we are. Nope, it says it right there. Wire color schematics. Red wire is the running light. The white wire is the brake light, and the black wire is the ground. Cool. So we know what we're going to be doing. Let's go ahead and splice this. All right, this is the final, its final form, if you want to call it. Maybe I could electrical tape them together just to make it a little bit neater. Turn signals we are not using, so those are completely closed off forever. And we have the corresponding wires all wired up. So I'm actually super excited. The wrap is even still on the taillight. We just have to get into arguably the hardest phase, which is going to be physically mounting this with no horrible looking gaps or anything like that. So let's try this. I got a few options that I'm going to try out to make sure that this is going to last for a really long time and look good as well. So let's get into it. Okay, so fast forward 2 hours for a very good reason. I clowned myself really bad on this one. There's a slight problem. Slight problem. So I put the rubber on. I went to go put the taillight on. Didn't want to work. I'm like, why? What's going on? So the problem is I was right to order this taillight just to get rough measurements. The problem is this light is smaller than this light. Like physically, you can see it. See how far that light sticks out compared to this one? So I did everything, all the little niche things to that light and hoped they would transfer to this light. It's fine now. I will say it's fine now. This is the finished product. So we got the original screws in all the original taillight holes. They work. The problem was, you see how we have these screws? I drilled these in order to put these screws in for the distance. When I put that light in, it stuck out way too far. Like it was past this. I'm like, that's not gonna fly with me, okay? It also made a massive, huge gap everywhere. Like not even, like this gap up here, I could live with that all day. I'm not even gonna cover that. We're only gonna be focusing on this gap. But the gap was so big, it was gonna drive me up a wall, and it looked so disgusting. Another problem. So I just moved these forward. The brackets are slightly bowed out, as you can tell, but I think they'll be okay. Another problem is when I moved the bracket back, I had to sacrifice these holes. These top brackets did not want to bolt up anymore. So these were supposed to go in front, and then the bolts were going to go through. I had to put them behind, and then I had to rebend them, and then I had to drill the holes just slightly bigger because they wouldn't fit. But they fit now, and actually the whole thing is extremely solid. Like I'm bending the fender even just do it. So the vibration problems, no worries. The wires are mint. These are just gonna get tucked somewhere. These are the turn signal lights. Probably just put them like right there or something. So we just need to focus on dealing with this bottom piece, and then I am done. I cannot explain it well enough, but I'm done. I'm done with this tail light. I just want to put it on. A little frustrated. I'm gonna have to give this a score on how difficult this was to do it, and it's an 8 out of 10 right now. So frustrated, but at least it'll be one of a kind. So let's get this thing rolling again. I present to you my fix for the dreaded bottom gap whenever you do miscellaneous taillights for the Navi. So we have, well, a piece of rubber. It's about an inch big by, I think this is probably 10 or 11 inches. It's not quite a ruler. I'm going to put this underneath to slide it in between there. And then we are going to take, in the last video, I received a free battery from Kemimoto. They sent it out. Unbelievable battery. I mean, I'm still using it to this day. Thought I'd use it for this experiment. And they have battery packing. So we're going to go ahead and use the battery packing to prevent this from backing off the tail light, which is what happened in my experimentation with that light over there. Here we are. This is what it looks like. It'll look like that. It will have a gap up there, but I'm really not concerned about it because I think it'll look pretty darn good. I was concerned about this gap down here, which is no longer existent. So that's actually going to look super flush and super good, actually. Can't really tell much on that side. Again, it is going to be dark underneath here, so you're not really going to be able to tell much anyways. So that's an A+ for me. It's centered. It looks good. The inside, however, doesn't necessarily look the best. We did get one of my old Honda clamps. These clamp underneath the bolt and they fold over. It's just a piece of aluminum to keep the wires from rubbing around, moving around. We have this wrapped up underneath this. We have 3 pieces of foam holding this in against the taillight and one coming over that adheres to the taillight as well. So it's kind of just one whole unit now, which is what I was going for. And all we have to do is put the drain hole back in, put the 4 tabs back on, put these 2 clips back on, and slide it onto the bike. So here we go. Well, there it is. That was such a pain in the butt to install. Real quickly before I wrap up this video, I just want to explain to you guys exactly how it looks and exactly what I had to do in order to mount this. That is how it's going to look for the rest of its time on the Navi. At first, I did not like this little gap up here, but I think it looks custom. I mean, things that look custom they look off-putting kind of. And if you were to stare at this compared to a fresh off the floor Navi, you're gonna notice that something looks a little off, and it does because it's a fully LED custom taillight. This gap on this side is pretty much covered. The gap on the bottom is completely flush, which is actually super nice and satisfying. So nothing's really gonna get in there from the wheel if it does spray up. Coming over to this side, it still looks just as good as the other side. The gap underneath is still covered. It does stick out about that much, but I think that looks kind of cool in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but I do like that. I am a big fan of it. Do not forget it is upside down technically, but you can't even really notice. And if you go ahead and lift up the seat, we have the original connector, all of the wiring that we did, if it wants to focus. As you can tell, this kind of looks weird in here. So I didn't account for the frame coming up. And if you look really closely, it gets super close to the brackets that physically mount the taillight on both sides. It comes super, super close. Try to see if I can get better angles, but I mean, the frame is literally right here. So that's probably maybe 5 or 6 millimeters away on either side. So it is super close, but it does fit. And then I had to move this little wire holder bracket that we have kind of out a little bit because it was going to pinch those wires against the frame, and I really didn't want that. But they are in there pretty loosely, so they're kind of just gonna be floating there, which is nice. And then I did, this comes from the license plate light that we have and the turn signals. So this comes up and goes through the frame that way. And to keep this free from these metal things in my seat, I just routed this around that and then just kind of have the plug resting right there. I don't know if I'm gonna go ahead and do something with this, but it is fine right there for right now. So I'm really not too concerned with it. And then it just goes back into the harness that I decided to make years ago for the Navi. And then all this stuff kind of just chills, you know. But there's no fitment issues, no nothing like that, which is super nice. But it is the way that it's going to be. That is the inside. Obviously you can see out the back, but the hole's really not that noticeable. I mean, there is a hole for the license plate right down there, so might as well add a little bit more holes to it, but it really doesn't look terrible. Like, it doesn't look terrible at all. I think it looks super cool. The moment you guys have been waiting for me to actually turn the bike on. There it is. It's blinking for you guys, but it's not blinking for me in real life. So yeah, it's almost like an upside down U shape. Kind of looks like an N, if you want to call it that. And then if you go ahead and we'll kick the brake on here, it's super cool. So that blinking right there, it actually does flash 3 times. I chose to go with the flash on, and then we immediately have access to our tuning button right here. So we can actually press this a few times. 1, 2, 3. And then I believe if we press it, it should just light up. Super, super bright. Super, super cool. Again, it's not blinking like that for me. That's just what LEDs do. Personally, I think I'm gonna run with the blinking stoplight. I kind of like it. You know, I think I'm gonna come out and say that I think we're back in the saddle with this one, guys. I don't know, it just felt good to do something custom for the Navi again. You guys know I love doing custom stuff, even if it's not totally off the walls, like unimaginable. But yeah, super happy. It's becoming the bike that I've always wanted. I wish I could powder coat the stock 12-inch rims and hubs. I think I might do that over the winter. I'm not too sure. I don't know if I would do a video with that. I do, however, manage to track down some more fake carbon. So you guys, we have the fake carbon rear fender that has pine pitch on it. And then I did manage to track down some fake carbon, these gray side panel things. So I think that might be the next video. That should be a short video, but I mean, it's a video and I know you guys like watching. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys again so much. It feels good to be back. It's mid-July, blue skies, all smiles here. Yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. I'll take a couple snapshots if you guys really want to see like fit and finish and like high quality, like if you're looking at it, not just through a screen. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and I will see you guys later. Little side thing. It's days later now. I just finished the video. I'm about to edit it. Look what I found. Look at this rusty piece of crap. I just want to let you know I have done nothing to this. I haven't sanded it, primed it, nothing, and it's been sitting in one of the storage boxes because I guess I just figured I'd probably need this bracket in the future for something. This is the Reckless Customs bracket they sell for your Navi taillight. Look at this. Totally Navi taillight. Look at this, guys. Look at that. Look. Beautiful, guys. Let's go ahead and put it in my Navi. Let's go ahead and do it. Ready? Feed the wires through. Wow, guys, I'm so excited for my So excited for my Navi taillight. I'm so excited for my Navi taillight. That doesn't line up at all. Get a load of this shit. It's not even sitting flat, because it can't sit flat, because it hits the freaking... Guys, what is going on here? Look at this. Look at how bad that looks. I think the only thing that we can do with this, actually, and I'll do myself a favor. I thought I needed the bracket, but it's already rusting from just sitting in a dry storage bin. So I think we'll just do everybody a favor.